Hey, what's up everybody, Red Lion here, and on this episode of Pokemon Leaf Green version, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. Basically, there's pretty much nothing to do on this next set of routes other than talk about a ton of Pokemon that are now available. So I decided we're gonna just have this play over some music, and I'll post-commentate and talk about all the bios and things like that. And the first Pokemon we're going to talk about is actually one I should have talked about last time, which is Jinx. Jinx has good special defense and speed as well as great special attack. It learns good moves through both level up and TM like Lovely Kiss and strong stab moves like Ice Beam and Psychic. And as you can remember, the reason why Jinx is now available is because we were able to catch Poliwag, and hypothetically we could evolve that Poliwag into a Poliwhirl and trade it for that Jinx in Cerulean City. And that trade means that Jinx gets boosted experience, which is pretty great. Only downsides, it has really low and like pitiful defense, making physical hits pretty much one-shots all the time. Yeah, Jinx is a pretty interesting Pokemon. I've never really gotten to use one on my team just because, like, I don't know, I never remember to go back to Cerulean City to pick one up because the gap between when it's technically available and when you can actually catch it is pretty massive. Yeah, so in just a minute we'll be getting to one part. We're going to be getting a new item here, but first, as you can see, the Snorlax is blocking the way. Just going to be knocking it out this time. I caught the other one before already, so no need to worry about it now. And in just a minute, we're going to be coming up on NPC who will give us the Super Rod. And that gives us access to a whole ton of new Pokemon that are only accessible with the Super Rod at this point. First of which is Horsey. Horsey is only available in Fire Red version, and it's kind of just super average. It has good defense, special attack, and speed, but nothing else is really that important. Its move pool is really average for a water type as well. It doesn't get that great of moves. It really wants to be a special sweeper considering it has Swift Swim and just like decently high special attack. But it falls just short, and mostly because of the fact that its final evolution can't be accessed until the post game. Its counterpart in Leaf Green version only is Krabby. It has amazing attack and defense, and it has decent speed as well, but its low special attack and its typing of pure water mean that it has its already really shallow move pool is pretty much useless on it. It's very frail on the special side as well. If physical water type moves existed at this point in the series, it would actually be decently usable, but right now I can't really recommend it. The next Pokemon available on these routes with a Super Rod is Gyarados. If you wanted a Gyarados without putting any effort into evolving a Magikarp, this is your chance. Everything good I said about a Gyarados back when we talked about it with Magikarp still applies here. And I guess it's even more positive now that you don't have to use any effort in trying to level a Magikarp up. Another Super Rod Pokemon available only in Fire Red is Psyduck. Psyduck's stats, like Horsey, are kind of just average across the board as well, and it relies really heavily on TMs for even like the simplest of moves. At this point in the game, until we get a certain move to access it at a higher rarity, it is very hard to find. And for some reason it isn't Psychic type. It has Psy in its name, but it's not Psychic type. Pokemon is weird. And its counterpart in Leaf Green version, which actually is a Psychic type, is Slowpoke. As you remember, first of all, if you were to evolve this into a Slowbro, you could go get that Lickitung. But like I said, I prefer Slowbro over that. It has great defense, its HP is decent, and its special defense is also pretty good. And having high special attack, all of that combined make it an amazing tanky Pokemon. It has a great move pool between level up and TMs, including Surf, Calm Mind, Blizzard, and strangely of all, Fire Blast. And it also learns Psychic without using a TM, which is fantastic. It also learns a lot of support moves like Amnesia that help boost its tankiness as well. It has a split evolution path, both of which are pretty cool, but only Slowbro can be accessed before the post game. And the only downsides are its very low speed and, like Psyduck, how rare it is to get at this point in the game. I was actually, for like up until like the last few days of preparation for this series, I was actually going to use a Slowbro on my team, and then last minute I decided that I would be getting Pokemon too close to each other and seemed a little redundant at this point. I didn't want to have a full party this early in the game, so I'm waiting on a different Pokemon to use as my water and psychic type. So that's everything that can be caught with a Super Rod right now. The next Pokemon we can get to is Venonat in that patch of grass that was on Route 13 up there. It's just another mediocre bug type. Its stats and type aren't great. Its move pool isn't spectacular. It's like if you were to cross Caterpie and Weedle and make them slightly better, but still not very good at all. Another Pokemon in that patch of grass is Gloom, which is only available in Fire Red. Basically, everything that I said about Oddish back when we went over it applies to Gloom. Luckily, it can be evolved immediately now that we have access to Leaf Stones. And same as Oddish before, its split evolution is only available in the post-game. And of course, its counterpart for LeafGreen is Weepinbell. The same thing as Gloom, except for about Bellsprout. And so now, that's everything on these routes for now. Oh wait, no, sorry, I forgot that we're at a different point already. So on Route 14 now, you can catch Pidgeotto, which, like Fearow, Doduo is a better option at this point if you don't already have a flying type. So if you don't have a Pidgeotto at this point in the game, then there's no need to catch one now, unfortunately. And the other Pokemon on this route here is Ditto. Ditto is a really gimmicky novelty Pokemon. It's first off really rare, and second off can only use Transform, making it pretty much useless in the main story game, and even in multiplayer it's not even that great. So that's everything on this set of routes that's new, but because we have the Super Rod, we now have access to a bunch of Pokemon elsewhere as well, starting off with Grimer. Grimer is the special defensive equivalent of Coughing. I don't think we've actually gone over Coughing yet, but basically it has pretty high special defense. It has some great HP, and its attack is good as well. Its low special attack unfortunately gives it a really shallow move pool, and it's also very slow. So basically its move pool is limited to poison type attacks, and you're gonna get outsped a lot. It's it's still really rare, like extremely rare, and at least it's a better poison type than Coughing, who is coming up eventually. I don't think it's available in Celadon City. If you remember that there was that little pool of water next to the game corner, you have a very slim chance of finding it there right now. Honestly, if you want one, you're probably just better off waiting a little bit to catch one in the first place. And speaking of little pools of water, if you remember in Fuchsia City, there was that one out back of where we got the Good Rod, and there you can find Goldine's evolution Seaking. Nothing really to add to Seaking. Like I said when we talked about Goldine in the last episode, it's not that great, and there's nothing really more I can say about it. And finally, there is Poliwhirl, who can be caught with the Super Rod on pretty much any route with water on it. And yeah, if you didn't catch a Poliwag before, or if you really want Jinx and don't want to put any effort into it, it's probably much easier to go catch a Poliwhirl and trade that directly for a Jinx. Poliwhirl and Poliwrath, like I said when I talk about Poliwag, aren't the best water type, so I can't really recommend them. But if you want a Jinx, this is the easiest way to get one. And I believe that is everything. I will make sure I didn't miss anything. It doesn't look like I did. But yeah, so yeah, that's really all I had to do for this episode. Like I said, there's pretty much nothing to talk about on this route. These routes, there's some items, there's some there's like a handful of required trainers, but most of them are skippable. So I'll just let the music play, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Next time on Pokemon Leaf Green version, we will be checking out the last, or one of 2 things remaining in Fuchsia City. And we get to go over even more new Pokemon. Yay! See you guys then.